Welcome to News Mongolia, where we bring you the latest stories and updates from across the nation and beyond. I'm Batsirin Namshar. On the News Mongolia today, Oks province is bracing for impact as 50 centimeters of precipitation blankets the region. Overcoming challenges to attract investment in Mongolia's renewable energy landscape. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken extends heartfelt Lunar New Year wishes to Mongolians. For the news, stay tuned. Oks province in Mongolia is currently facing severe challenges due to extreme winter conditions with cold temperatures and heavy snowfall of 40 to 50 centimeters, creating difficulties for local herders. The adverse weather is particularly affecting livestock herders in Zhonghangai and Davtsoms of the province.
The accumulation of snow reaching depths of 40 to 50 centimeters is making it strenuous for herders to navigate and manage their livestock. This harsh winter weather poses a significant obstacle to traditional herding practices, impacting the livelihoods of many in the region. Authorities and local communities in Oks province are actively working to address the challenges of the inclement weather. Efforts are being made to assist herders in coping with the harsh conditions, including providing support for livestock care and addressing potential issues related to food and water accessibility.
In November last year, our region experienced extensive snowfall, creating challenging conditions for our herders. The ongoing winter has proven to be particularly arduous for those reliant on traditional herding practices. In the face of challenging circumstances with a snow accumulation of 50 centimeters, our herders are grappling with difficult winter conditions. Recognizing the urgency of the situation, we have taken proactive measures to support the community. In a bid to alleviate the impact on herders and their livestock, we have implemented a substantial 50% discount on fodder and feed. This initiative aims to provide essential resources at a more accessible price during this challenging period, anticipating the potential challenges associated with severe winter weather. We had 60 tons of fodder prepared in advance. That helped us a lot.
The situation in Zhonghangai and Davtsoms remains the focal point, with residents and local authorities collaborating to mitigate the impact of the winter weather on the community. Livestock, a crucial aspect of the region's economy and nomadic way of the life, requires special attention during these challenging times.
With its vast landscapes and abundant resources, Mongolia holds tremendous renewable energy potential. The country's untapped natural resources, including wind and solar power, present a golden opportunity for sustainable and clean energy future. Despite these prospects, foreign investors remain hesitant due to concerns about potential financial losses.
In Dorngov province, Sanshantsom's wind park has been a beacon of progress, garnering 90% foreign investment 5 years ago. This venture was envisioned not only as an energy resource but as a catalyst for economic growth. Despite successfully integrating with the main grid and providing power to the region, a lingering issue has emerged. Surprisingly, the wind park has yet to distribute dividends to its investors. When foreign investors who played a pivotal role in establishing the wind park find themselves unable to receive anticipated revenue, the prospects of further investment in Mongolia become unstable. Despite the initial promise of returns, the absence of dividends is a pressing issue for future investors to take the risk of contributing to Mongolia's development. Mongolia should maintain a stable and steady policy when it comes to foreign investors. There is substantial potential for future businesses to thrive through adopting renewable energy. Embracing sustainable practices aligns with global environmental concerns and also presents a strategic advantage for companies aiming for long-term growth.
Mongolia has uncovered its renewable energy potential to distribute power to the main grid. To fully introduce renewable energy, we also need dispatchable sources of energy that can be adjusted and controlled. Overall, we need total energy sector reform.
The growth of renewable energy sources will result in an increased demand for skilled human resources to drive and manage these developments. Expanding the renewable energy sector requires a well-equipped and knowledgeable workforce across various disciplines. Clear and supportive legal frameworks are also essential to instill investor confidence. If regulations are ambiguous or inconsistent, it can deter potential investors who seek stability and predictability.
Now let's take a look at Mongolia's current affairs.
U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has conveyed warm Lunar New Year greetings to the people of Mongolia as Mongolians celebrate Tsagasar, marking the commencement of the lunisolar New Year. In his message, Secretary Blinken emphasized the strong democratic partnership between the United States and Mongolia, highlighting the robust bonds of friendship that exist between their peoples. Expressing enthusiasm for the potential deepening of collaboration between the two nations in the coming year, Blinken acknowledged the significance of the occasion in fostering even stronger ties. As this new year begins, I am excited about the possibility for even deeper partnership between our countries, stated Secretary Blinken. The Secretary of State extended his heartfelt wishes to all those observing Tsagasar, regardless of their location. He expressed hopes that the Year of the Dragon would bring joy, peace, and prosperity to individuals celebrating in Mongolia, the United States, and across the globe.
You're watching News Mongolia. Now let's take a look at the currency exchange rates provided by Mongol Bank. Now let's take a look at international news from our partner agencies. The Australian government said on Tuesday it will outlaw doxing, the malicious release of personal or identifying information online without subject's permission, after pro-Palestinian activists published the personal details of hundreds of Jewish people in Australia.
Attorney General Mark Dreyfus said the proposed laws, which have yet to be drafted, would involve issuing takedown notices to social media platforms and imposing fines for the intimidation tactic. The government was responding to 9 entertainment news reports last week that pro-Palestinian activists had published the names, images, professions, and social media accounts of Jewish people working in academia and the creative industries.
The Albanese government is committed to protecting the safety of Australians, and stronger privacy protections for individuals are essential. The increasing use of online platforms to harm people through practices like doxing, the malicious release of their personal information without their permission, is a deeply disturbing development. The recent targeting of members of the Australian Jewish community through those practices like doxing was shocking, but sadly this is far from being an isolated incident. We live in a vibrant, multicultural community which we should strive to protect. No Australian should be targeted because of their race or because of their religion.
Pro-Palestinian activists distributed a nearly 900-page transcript that leaked from a private WhatsApp group formed last year by Jewish writers, artists, musicians, and academics. 9 newspapers reported last week. The transcript was accompanied by a spreadsheet that contained the names and other personal details of almost 600 people purportedly the group's membership. Author Clementine Ford, who is one of several activists who posted links to the leaked information, said that it shouldn't be considered doxing. Dreyfus said the new laws would strengthen Australian protections against hate speech, but provided scant detail about how they would work. Monash University cybersecurity expert Nigel Fair applauded the idea of a law against doxing, but questioned how it could be enforced.
Oh, look, it's come at a precipitant time. Doxing's been around for a very, very long time. People have had maliciously their details outed time and time again. It happens at all ages of all people. So, it's not a bad thing for anything to come along and bring this along. But yeah, our law enforcement agencies, dare I say, already swamped with online investigations, with the amount of crime that we have online. Adding this to it without any additional resources and the really integrated work with the social media platforms, it just won't do much.
There has been an increase in reports of anti-Semitism in Australia since Israel's war against Hamas began in October. The Australian government's online safety watchdog defines doxing, which is also known as dropping docs or documents, as the intentional online exposure of an individual's identity, private information or personal details without their consent. The government's plan to outlaw doxing was welcomed by the Executive Council of Australian Jewry, which represents Australia's Jewish community.
Thailand's former Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra has been granted parole and could be released this weekend. Thailand's Justice Minister made the announcement Tuesday, confirmed by Prime Minister Srettha Thavisin after the weekly cabinet meeting.
Thaksin last year returned from more than a decade of self-imposed exile to serve a prison sentence for misdeeds committed while in office. Thaksin became prime minister in 2001 by promoting populist policies and was easily re-elected in 2005. He was ousted by a military coup in 2006. He had been in exile since 2008 to escape a prison sentence for corruption conviction he said was politically motivated. He voluntarily returned to Thailand in August last year and was immediately given a jail term of 8 years, later reduced to 1 year by Thailand's king Maha Vajiralongkorn. Thaksin is confined to a police hospital in Bangkok after apparently being taken seriously ill just hours after going to prison. His parole has been widely expected.
It is official that he is being granted parole, which is in accordance with the rule and the law of the Department of Corrections. I think we have to follow the law, and Prime Minister Thaksin was a Prime Minister for several years. He is someone who is an asset to the country, worked for the good of the country for a long time. He is one of the most popular Prime Ministers in the Thai political history. Actually, now he has left, and he is an ordinary citizen.
One analyst told the Associated Press that the former leader is an instinctual political player and likely to be an influential figure.
Thaksin will still maneuver for sure, and he'll, conduct the music behind the scenes. But Pheu Thai has less power than it used to, and we'll have to see how he does it.
Thaksin is not yet clear of all legal hurdles. Thai officials said last week they have revived an investigation of a royal defamation case that was brought against Thaksin almost 9 years ago. If the Office of the Attorney General decides to indict him, Thaksin could be detained again as soon as he is released.
The Director General of the International Atomic Energy Agency, Rafael Grossi, said Tuesday Iran had a right to have a nuclear program, but it needed to be transparent about its activities.
Grossi was speaking at a panel during the World Government Summit in Dubai. He highlighted the risks associated with the lack of transparency in nuclear activities.
If Iran wants to have a nuclear power program, as they have, they can, and rightly so, no problem with that. But they have to have a system of inspections which is commensurate with what they are doing, and they keep not giving the answers and the cooperation that they should be extending to the agency. Of course, this is an accumulation of complexities, because in a region, in the current circumstance, to have a country that it is presenting a face which is not entirely transparent when it comes to its nuclear activities, of course, this increases dangers. There is loose talk about nuclear weapons, more and more, including in Iran.
The International Atomic Energy Agency said last year that Iran had increased the rate at which it is producing near-weapons-grade uranium. The West has long suspected that Iran is acquiring nuclear weapons, but Iran denies it is seeking such weapons.
Well, that's all for today. Thank you for staying with us. We'll see you on Thursday with more news and updates. Goodbye.